From Tampa Bay's #1 news station, this is the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
Well, you don't have to take 275 to get out to the eastern edge of Polk County, where there is a local multi-generational candy shop called Davidson of Dundee.
I did not know that, but that is where we find our Chip Brewster today, looking to satisfy a sweet tooth, are we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I definitely came to the right spot. So this is kind of neat for me personally. I know there's a lot of you out there that might have heard of this place. It's been around for a while. I mean, the Grove started 100 years ago out here in Dundee. Candy shop. Not too much longer after that, but that was the second generation that started it. For me, though, I was at a different place, a different shop, and I saw something like this. I saw the little jars, I saw the candy, and I saw Davidson of Dundee, Florida. Hold up, Google. Yep, that's in the viewing area. I've got to go check this place out. And so that is what brought me here today, to see how they make, what they make, and satisfy that sweet tooth, as you mentioned. They have samples. They have so many samples of things, guys, including they make like 100 different flavors of marmalade. Now, not all of them are out here to sample, but that's a good number. 20, 25, 30 something ones. So it's cool. We give you a little behind the scenes of how they do what they do, and then perhaps we entice you to make that drive to come check it out for yourself. Or just, stick around and watch Fox 13. Either way.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Chip.
We love that Chip will go far off the beaten path to find sweet goodness. Yeah. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Chip.
It's a sweet discovery hidden in the heart of Polk County. Chip takes us to the famed Davidson of Dundee. Next.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chip Brewster, coming to you live from Dundee, Florida, which is home to Davidson of Dundee. It only makes sense. It's in the name. Which is also home to Tom Davidson. It only makes sense. It is his name. He is the president of this company. And what's cool is, so you're second generation with this kind of business, right? Because your dad started off, but then you're third, if we kind of loop in the whole citrus thing, because of your grandpa.
That's right. That's right. My grandfather planted orange groves around the Dundee Winter Haven area back in the late 20s and 1930s.
Ooh, that's like
a long time ago.
Yeah. Now the store itself, I'm sure, has just grown and grown over the years. And this section I wanted to start in. One, it's a little quieter than the other section. There's a lot of people over there. But two, this kind of speaks to that history of your family. So what happens over here?
All right. When we bring in citrus, we'll go ahead and dump that into the machines. And the machines will clean it, wash it, get all the dirt off of it.
Okay.
All that kind of thing. Make it nice and pretty and shiny, and then it'll come off into the bins. We'll roll those bins right out front.
So behind the glass right here, this is like the first stop after they're picked.
This is the first stop, you bet.
Oh, cool.
You bet.
So you're still offering, I love that, you're still offering that freshest citrus as you can.
You bet.
Now, that's not the only thing you do, of course.
Of course not.
You take that, you take some of the juice. We start to walk this way over to the other part of the store, and this is what you really start to get known for, these candies, these delicacies, these marmalades. The fun part, absolutely. So give me the history there. How did your family go from your grandpa planting citrus groves to your dad taking that knowledge and love, coming home and creating what is now in front of us?
Well, sure. My father grew up in this area, of course, with my grandfather having, the groves and whatnot around here. My dad went to Winter Haven High School and then went off to Cornell College in Iowa. And when the war broke out, he was a Dauntless dive bomber pilot on the USS Valley Forge.
Wow.
And the USS Bunker Hill. So, yeah, after that...
That doesn't speak candy at all, though.
Not yet. We're definitely getting there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so being in Little Winter Haven and Dundee, and then going out into the real world, he kind of liked that real world. Worked for some companies, but one of the interesting ones was Sunline Candy Company in St. Louis.
Ah.
And they made a candy called Pixie Sticks.
Okay.
And Jawbreaker.
I'm familiar with both of those, actually, yeah.
And my father's best friend at his Rotary Club worked for Tums. So they
like the Tums that were
like the Tums, yes,
okay.
like the tummy Tums.
Yeah.
So what happened? My father asked him about that. Could we take pixie stick powder, run it through a Tums machine, and make a tablet? Is that even feasible? And the Tums Corporation was quite generous and said, "Bring your people over, and we'll give you use of the facility for as long as you need."
And that's how the delicacy was created?
Well, pixie stick powder went into that machine, and that made sweet tarts.
Okay.
So then the company got huge. Another Fortune 500 company purchased that company, and when they bring in their own executives, That's when my father said, you know what, I'm going to be looking for something, so I will go back home to Central Florida where I love it, and I'll start my own candy company.
Ah, and that explains too, like what we've got going on in the back.
There you go. Back in the 1960s.
The delicacies that we are going to be featuring much more prominently coming up in the next segment. So we've given you the history, perhaps we visually enticed you. Now we're going to show you how it's done and even talk about what it tastes like coming up.
That's what I want to know.
Pixie sticks and sweet tarts in a way led to Davidson of Dundee. It's pretty cool.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
That's accurate.
Can't wait to see what else they have to offer coming up. Thanks, Chip.
All right, let's head back out to Chip and see what sweet treat he is. Oh,
We
my.
found
That's a
big
circle of sweet treats.
plate of sugar, it looks like. Hey, Chip.
Yeah. Citrus delicacies. That's what we're calling them. They have almost 24 different flavors here at Davidson of Dundee. And there's no need to worry about that international supply chain with this place. They get most of their ingredients local. By local, I mean the state of Florida. We're going to tell you where they get the goods, how they make the goods, and even do a little taste test for you coming up. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chip Brewster, coming to you live once again from Dundee, inside of the Delicacy Creation Room at Davidson of Dundee, joined by Tom Davidson, president of this company. And what's cool is, so we actually sing it a few different stages, including in the back there, and those things look a little old school.
That's for sure. Real copper kettles. Those things were made, believe it or not, in the 1930s.
Wow.
Those Savage Brothers stoves. So yes, this is old school.
We had started getting through the history in the last segment, starting all the way with your grandfather and your dad going to school and business, and then coming home and starting this. How does he go from his own candy making experience to now creating the citrus delicacy that we're witnessing here?
You know what? This recipe is a pretty old one as well. I know my grandparents made a delicacy real similar to this with the orange juice and grapefruit juice that my grandfather, with the groves that he planted back in the 20s and 30s.
Cool.
Yes, they had something like that, and my father and with my mom's help just adapted those for making large batches.
And you guys do make some large batches because it's not like you keep it here in the candy shop.
Right. We'll make about 4,000 pounds a day here in the real busy season, whether it's citrus candies, chocolates, pecan love rolls, pralines or nougats or what have you, but yeah, it'll be about 4,000 pounds in a day.
All right, challenge time. You told me that you had 22 different flavors of citrus delicacy. I don't expect you to name all 22, and I'm not going to keep track. But go. What can you name?
I tell you, the most popular ones are going to be, of course, orange, honeybell, tangerine, key lime, lemon, pecan orangette. We have a fuzzy navel, strawberry, blueberry. We've
Is that two separate ones, the strawberry and blueberry?
They are different. And we've also...
I've already lost track. So.
Yeah, we also do a mango and a guava.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then we played around with some other ones, a little different, blackberries and things like that. That, we'll bring back for special occasions. But the main ones are going to be orange, key lime, and lemon. Those are the most popular. Tangerine's really good. I love that one as well. But the main guys here are going to be the orange, key lime, and lemon.
What is the one that we just dropped? One next to it?
Absolutely. We just did orange, so that's got orange juice.
This is the orange one. This is like red. Oh, cool.
And made with orange,
tangerine
with tangerine juice.
Excellent. So after this, it cools and then heads over that way, correct?
Exactly.
To that table?
Exactly. We're going to cut it right over there.
Again, this looks so old school. I love it.
It certainly is.
Do people actually appreciate that you haven't totally mechanized the entire process?
Yes. So many people will come out and just film the whole process. And they say, well, I can't believe that this isn't all done by machines like everybody else does today.
And even the packaging. I mean, it goes from here over to the other room where, depending on the assembly, if it's one of the pretty baskets that we've got or a mix and match container or something, you've got employees over there just putting them all together
all
by
hand packed, yes, all hand packed.
And I also mentioned to you the ingredients. I know I said
yes, that's right. We did talk about that.
You get as much as you can from Florida.
Yes. We every year we're bringing about 400,000 pounds of sugar from the Everglades. So most of it's coming out of Clewiston.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that doesn't have far to go. A couple hours in the semi, and it comes right here. So yeah, that works out great. The oranges and grapefruit, lemons, even key limes we can get from the state of Florida.
And then you take those ingredients and you also make your other super popular thing, the marmalades, which that's going to be our next segment. Again, all made on site right here in Dundee, and you can, for the most part, see it yourself. We'll show it to you, though, here on Fox 13. Save you the trip. Coming up.
Marmalade.
That looks yummy. It
does.
A lot of sugar goes into that, which is always welcome.
Thanks, Chip. We're back after this.
Indoor segments planning are in the works now for me. Anyways, I'm indoor today, and it's a great place to be. I'm in Dundee at Davidson of Dundee. We talked about their citrus delicacies. Well, that's not the only thing they use citrus for. Coming up, we introduce you to the extensive line of marmalades and how they make it happen.
Davidson of Dundee is known all over Florida for two things. You saw one of them in our 4 o'clock newscast, the citrus jellies.
And now our Chip Brewster is showing us the second, their extensive line of marmalades. And he's live at their shop in Dundee. And I'm a big fan of marmalades. You like marmalades? Yes.
You know, yeah, a little bit. I'm not a huge fan, but he might convince me. I'm going to take a look here.
Go.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm going to start with a little information bomb on you guys because I just learned something. I was calling them jellies. They're delicacies because they have jelly as well. This is my little cheat sheet for you. So there's jelly, which contains juice from the fruit. There's butter, which contains finely chopped fruit and fruit rind. There's the marmalade or marmalade, which contains fruit and fruit rind. And then there's conserves made with grade A or US #1 fruit. So they actually have a few different versions, but they all tend to end up looking like that. You use it in different ways, whether you're spreading it on something or just straight up eating it out of the jar. There's really no judgment on there, is there, Tom?
Not at all.
Not at all. And especially when you come, because one of the cool things about coming to the store itself is you have samples. You have dozens of samples.
Plenty of samples.
So
Free samples, free tours.
free samples, free tours.
And the manufacturing's going on all day.
Almost every day?
Almost every day, yeah. We're open 7 days a week right now, which makes it kind of cool. Production going all day long.
Now, do people actually step inside the rooms like we do?
No, not without a hairnet or a hat.
Yeah, and we got that part covered. But there are the windows, so you can actually see what we're showing you, just not quite as close. And what exactly are we showing them, Tom?
Right now we're doing Honeybell Marmalade. We just got it over to the 16-ounce size, so this will be 1 pound.
Okay.
Normal day we'll do between 3,500 and 4,500 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we learned about the family history and your father's candy background and coming up with the citrus delicacies. What about the marmalades, the jellies, the butters, the things that I just read off that piece of paper?
All that tropical stuff, you name it, that's what we'll do. We also do things like blackberry and coconut and strawberry. So we do some of the other ones as well.
And how long have you been doing that? Like, has it been the same amount of time as the delicacies? Or?
Yeah, we started doing the delicacies in '67. Started doing the marmalades a few years later.
Okay.
So, yeah, long time.
And, you know, you told me off camera, more than 100 flavors of marmalades, which is mind-boggling in and of itself. But to me, that also says that you're still trying things out.
Oh, sure. We made a jalapeno pepper jelly with a grapefruit juice as the matrix. And
Wait. So you had a jalapeno pepper jelly, and there's grapefruit juice in it.
You bet. And that has always been really tasty. But the last 5 or 6 years, it's just skyrocketed. It was probably number 28. Now it's in the top 7. So, flavors change all the time like that, or people's tastes. Now, orange marmalade has always been #1 by far, and Honeybell #2. But, we've got others that kind of switch around. Coconut spread and the coconut butter, another product. Those have been climbing quite a bit as well. Tangerine's popular. Florida Hurricane and Florida Sunset jelly have gotten popular as well.
How does the R&D work here? Like, do you just come up with an idea? Is it your staff? Do you have, like, kids that test things?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting that you've asked us that. A lot of these ideas come from our customers.
Oh.
They'll come in, or they'll email us or call us and say, hey, I've got an idea. Could you do this? Some other things, of course, certain flavors do tend to get more popular. You know how that is.
Yeah.
And
that time of year, I'm sure, determines that as well.
That time of year, you bet. But yeah, the customers, the input is pretty big. We'll get photos that people make their own things and try this, and it's delicious. So we'll try it, and yeah, that's fantastic, and we'll go with it that way.
Cool.
So,
I love that you're taking that customer input. That's really the neat thing about this. The business that it's kind of a third generation if you go back to your grandfather in the citrus groves, but second generation in this business, and they still have it very nostalgic when you walk in the door. Just like, some upgrades, but almost like when you'd opened.
Yeah. No, it's not a whole lot of things have changed inside since 1967. Sure, we've had to replace maybe some of the equipment that no longer function quite right. But again, like our gas stoves, are almost 100 years old. The copper kettle's almost that age as well.
And the values are endless. So come and support them, check them out. Heck, you can even buy it online and have it shipped straight to you guys.
Hey.
Now you know.
That's what everybody does these days, that's for sure.
Thanks, Chip.